Hello and welcome to Austin, Texas for Battle on the Bank 2 Capital Punishment right here in the Austin Convention Center. I'm Wanda Mike, joined on my left here.
Well, you miscued me there, Mike. I'm Wesley Page, and as you can see here on the camera, we've got a lot of great guests with us from all over the country right now. Mike, is this the most exciting thing going on in roller derby in the world right now?
Oh, without a doubt. Let's introduce everybody down here on the end, all the way from Madison, Wisconsin, Mr. Bob Noxious.
Thank you, Wanda Mike. Thank you, Wes, for having me out here. I tell you, this is one of the most exciting things I've ever had a chance to do. It's going to be my first time working with Bank Track Roller Derby. I'm fired up.
Well, and a free plug for Bob down there, flyingsquirrel.com. If you want to find out a little bit more about the best merchandise from one of the better commentators in the country, go to flyingsquirrel.com. Who else you got down here, Mike? Principal Wood. Now, you're coming out of Red Dirt out of Oklahoma, and you guys had a track that's recently been involved, right?
Yeah, that's right, Wes. I'm Principal Wood from the Red Dirt Rebellion City. We're a brand new league in the nation. Just recently, our track was used for Drew Barrymore's new movie, Whip It, that's going to be coming out in October. So we're really excited and pumped up about that. July, kicking off our first season at the Cox, the Cox Convention Center in Oklahoma City. And we're going to be kicking it off with Arizona Derby Dolls, or Derby Dames are coming in to compete against us. So we're going to kick off the season the right way. We've got one of the best tracks in the nation right now.
Absolutely. Well, it must be a great track if they wanted to premiere in the movie coming up this upcoming October, right, Mike?
That's right. And down here, over on
we've got some more people.
Left, that's right, all the way from San Diego, Reverend Mike.
Well, let's pass the mic down to Reverend Mike. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing great. Great to be here.
Well, we're awful happy to have you down here, too. Tell Diego girls.
San Diego is one of the few leagues in the country that does both bank track and flat track. This year they started a season, the Swarm playing bank track against LA, and they've come a long ways. They very quickly. So, in fact, season teams are undefeated. Their bank and their flat track teams, travel home, B team. Also, while I'm talking, I just want to say hello to Dagger at home. Due to a last-minute injury, she could not make it, and we miss her. It's very unfortunate when they work that hard and come this far to have to come out the last second. So,
also rounding out our staff down here on the very end, all the way from the great Northwest United States, Crow.
Crow Derberho. How are you, folks? Great to be in Austin.
Well, welcome to Austin, Texas. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So you're relatively new to our scene out here, but you've got a lot of experience with a lot of the skaters out there.
Yes. Well, we are a flat track out there. It's relatively small leagues. People are just starting to get into it. Of course, Rat City. They're very well nationally known. And the Rose City Derby League is another one that's nationally known. But the league I'm from is Lilac City. It's small, flat track. And, we're just gaining experience. And so we're looking up to the big wigs like yourself and just seeing how to do it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Great. Well, glad to have you here. We've got a lot of guys from all over the country, and they've got a lot of experience, a lot of different teams. Bob, you've covered more roller derby than anybody else in the nation, and you know a lot of these teams here. Tell us about a couple of the teams today.
Well, you're right, Mike. I've covered a lot of ground. I've covered a lot of territory all over the United States. I know quite a few of the girls that are skating here today. I haven't seen them skate bank track before, which is going to be a little different for them. Team Legit, who I'll be with today, is an all-star flat track team, and of course they fared. Team Awesome fared very well last year in the bank track tournament, and of course I'm also familiar with a lot of the San Diego girls from both their flat track and bank track ventures, and just other people who move in and out to other cities and sports.
Well, who do you like this weekend? Who do you think is going to be out on top tomorrow night?
Well, one of Mike, Wes, you guys have seen a lot of this. You always have to give the benefit of the doubt before anything starts to last year's champion. For that reason, I will say that LA has to be the. I personally think that both San Diego and Team Legit, from what I know of them, will give that team a run for their money, and I can't decipher it maybe quite as well as you guys can, but those are probably my top three.
Well, Bob, what do you think about San Diego? I mean, they've got a pretty impressive squad coming out here this go-round. And good friend Rev Mike over here said the only bitractual team out there right now that can skate both bank and flat. Real impressed with they go. What do you think about them?
Actually, call one of the flat tire track bouts about a year and a half ago in their first season. It was one of the best flat track leagues that I had seen. Bank track, they have a lot of experience. They've added Ivana Spankin, Trisha Dish, two legends in the flat track world who are now nothing more than tremendous assets to as teammates for them.
Well, let's let it out with Mike. I mean, what is goal?
Really, just like the big one, we want to sweep it. We swept the big one. You know, we took everybody. You know, that's 5 bouts in 1 weekend, and that's including, in fact, Friday night we took LA, and then we swept the 5 bouts after that. And that includes ACDG at the end, coming back from a 47-point deficit.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was an
that's
incredible bout. You know, if you weren't there, you really missed it. So we want to do that again. You know, we've been playing San Diego. I mean, we've been playing LA on their bank track, and LA's had the bank track for years. So, and, you know, we've been defeating them as well. So I think we're more than prepared for this tournament.
Well, you know, guys, we've got a couple spoilers out here this weekend, too, and everything. One of the, of course, the newest leagues in the nation and everything. Principal Wood, tell us about, what do you think your chances are this weekend?
I think our chances are pretty good. I don't know that we're going to go all the way. Obviously, you know, our first bout here today is with LA Derby Dolls, you know, the winners of last year's bout. That's going to be a pretty uphead game there. Their kind of, you know, response has been all over the place. There was a little bit of stuff going around last week that possibly Chrissy Crash was injured and wouldn't be here. And we saw her today, and she was certainly skating real good. And, you know, she's obviously not injured and ready to come out and play.
I guess those were just rumors of her injury, I guess.
Yeah.
Try to, you know, get a little pre-bout hype up or something. I don't know.
I think that was a little bit of it. There's a little rivalry there between our own Susie Uzi, who's one of the co-founders of the Red Dirt Rebellion, and she's skated for several years flat track. You know, she's watched Chrissy Crash really close, and, you know, I think they're pretty good friends, but there's, you know, a little bit of insider information going on there and everything.
A little insider trading?
A little insider training, absolutely. But I think it's all over the board as far as the end of the, you know, I've heard that Las Vegas is doing really good. You know, I think it's going to be kind of all over and one for all. You know, last year at the First Bank tournament and, you know, in Los Angeles, it was kind of a heads up right at the end, and it was literally a down to the wire and play-by-play type of game as far as the end and deciding as far as who the winner was there. So,
well,
you know, it's bank track, anything can happen, guys.
That's right.
When you talk about newcomers, not represented down here at the table, but you've also got Hurricane Alley Roller Derby, Mike, one of the sister leagues here to our very own Lone Star Roller Girls. They're coming out for the very first time also to compete out here in this bank track tournament. Again, kind of the same situation as Red Dirt, coming out for the first time, just trying to get their feet wet, trying to compete. Mike and I got an opportunity to meet with one of their stars before the bout, and boy, I got to tell you, they are fired up and excited to be here.
Oh yeah, they're you know, they're another one of the spoilers. They've been bouting for 4 years, but this is only this is their first time in a big tournament like this and everything. They're going to have a tough road ahead for them today. Wesley, who do you like this weekend?
Well, I got to tell you, I agree with Bob completely. The big juggernaut of this bout has got to be the LA Derby Dolls. They have fantastic athletes. They're funded very, very well over there. Talking about before the bout, their owner makes sure that they have fresh jerseys, fresh wheels, and fresh helmets for these things. They take Derby very serious out there. When it comes to competing, I don't know if anybody steps up the intensity and takes it to the next level like LA. You gotta give hats off. However, the TXRD Lone Star Roller Girls have really been gearing up to play LA Derby specific type of derby. I like them in this tournament also. In the same bracket, I see those two teams meeting in the semifinals, and like you all keep saying with Bank Track Derby, anything can happen. If I had to bet my house on it, though, and many of us do with this economic climate, I got to go LA Derby dolls, Mike.
I got to tell you, LA does have some incredible talent. I want to mention, for you people at home, watch Mile a Minute. She's an incredible speed skater. In fact, at one point, I considered Miss Fortune one of the fastest skaters I've ever seen, and there was a bout I saw about a year ago where they paced each other for about 6 laps. They literally could have been holding a rope, and they held the exact same spot as they hit the circles. You have Chrissy Crash, a fast skater and an incredible powerhouse. You got Tara Armoff, an incredible blocker. So, I mean, there's all sorts of incredible names there. PETA is an incredible skater, blocker and jammer. She's a package deal herself. So, for sure, LA is a very strong contender.
Well, Crow, you know a lot of those Northwestern girls. Who's your favorite this weekend?
Well, again, the consensus is with the LA Derby dolls. But I really think if there's an underdog or one who can sneak in and squeak it, I have to say it's the Las Vegas Renegades. They are coached by Miss Georgia Haas. And
who is here this weekend?
She is here with her team. And she is an old school Derby. I mean, she's been doing Derby for 30 plus years from the old Ann Cavello crowd. So if somebody's got that shot in the dark to come from out of nowhere and win it, I'm going to have to say it's the LA Renegades, or Las Vegas Renegades. Two of the girls that are on that team are from my league. So I have experience with Sweet Thunder and Crazy Train. Both of them are excellent jammers. They have speed. And again, the difficulty for them is adjusting to the mixture of rules and adjusting to the bank track. Because majority these girls are flat track derbyists. But if they can make it to the bank track and adjust, I think they'll be in the running for the money.
Well, there you go. I've been thinking about it all week long, and I'm still not sure yet, but I'm going to go out on a limb here with got to have my girls on top with San Diego second and LA in third. I'm not putting any money down on this, but this is just my feeling on this.
We probably all feel the same way on that one. Do we all think our girls are going to be on top?
No, I got to give my girls a shout out there. We're about to get underway with the first band, so stay with us. We're going to be live streaming all weekend long here, and I'd like to thank our friends over at Derby News Network for also carrying our feed this weekend and everything. So sit back and relax, get a cold drink, and enjoy the best roller derby in the United States right here.